Here's the relay handoff. Heading into turn one, it's a little uphill. How's this stroke rate compared to your on the water stroke rate? It looks a lot slower.
Yeah, I would say more similar to distance, kind of technical and sprinting race. Obviously, what I like to do more so is a way quicker, higher RPM for sure.
Yeah.
But we're going 24 hours.
That's right.
So it's a little different.
And you're going a lot faster than you do in the water too. Is that a little weird?
Not necessarily weird. It's nice to have a cleaner, smoother glide, that's for sure.
Uh-huh.
There's a little bit of a release, some time to break, different muscles you can use. Yeah, it's pretty rad.
So we're about halfway through here now, and 12 hours in, we're doing great. Are you feeling it anywhere in your body?
Yeah, I would say shoulders and legs. Nothing painful, but solid workout. Definitely different. Normally I'm in the lats, biceps, kind of arms with paddling, and this feels a little bit more forearms and maybe in the top of the biceps, a little bit in the traps there. But
what about the back? Are you feeling it in your back? You
nothing
feel
too crazy.
Okay.
A little bit in the legs, obviously.
Yeah.
Calves, most definitely.
Have you had like vibrating foot?
Not
Have you
yet.
felt that yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I think I'm used to standing on a board
Yeah.
for long enough that it's a little different with the grout or like the asphalt, but not too bad.
What's piqued your interest about this?
You know, I tried these boards quite some time ago and loved the board. I paddle already, and at the end of the day, it's always fun to try something new.
Yeah.
Off-season time when I'm not paddling for SUP, it's always good to find something to cross-train with.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, just figured give it a shot and give it a go.
All right.
Yeah, so I would say it's definitely different muscles, but you're working your endurance system, you know? You're working that side of the thing and getting some miles in. I would be curious to do a little bit more, you know, paddling on land and then going into the water and seeing that actual difference. I'm already thinking about how maybe a couple things like the catch, even though I'm not catching way in front like paddling, it's a way more aggressive push down.
Yeah.
Which with sprinting, you really want to have a clean, deep catch right in the beginning. You're not focusing on reaching too far. So we'll see. We'll see if that makes a good difference.
So this is the new thing for you, this pumping.
It's definitely a little bit different than I'm used to. For
sure. Can you explain to the viewers why you need to pump right now?
Well, we got a little bit of a downhill stretch here, and not necessarily need to, but might as well take advantage of some different muscles. So now we're purely working the legs, doing a little hula hooping, and can take a break, give the shoulders a rest.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna do another lap. So
that's right.
Work a little bit of every muscle. Well, luckily the first year got to experience it with a team, so gives me plenty of time in between where I don't have to wear anything, don't have to wear a camel pack, bring supplements or nutrition on me like I'm used to.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. So during the breaks, I'm just rehydrating with electrolytes, eating some food, minimal stuff, and just kind of keeping the body moving, not sitting around too much.
Yeah. So we were talking a little earlier, you know, 24 hours and seeing how far you can go is a bit of a stretch for most normal human beings.
Right.
But
even
you think
for me, I've never done something like this.
Yeah. But like a 5K, 10K marathon distance, that sounds like a pretty good future state for this sport, huh?
It would get more people into it that were, you know, even just willing to give it a shot, give it a try. Where this is a little bit more intimidating, for instance.
So Connor, can you help us understand the idea behind pumping? What's going on with pumping? It's not just wiggling the board, right?
Yeah, you're trying to get those front trucks to draw a little bit of an S. That's why they're a little bit looser up here, and then the back truck is actually staying fairly straight, and we're just trying to drag that along, pull that along, and that's what's creating that little bit of energy, that little bit of momentum. And we're back up to the uphill section.
Yeah. Now, Connor, I notice you're not switching.
A little bit.
There you go. Now you're switching.
I was just going for that.
And so
definitely weird. It's definitely, that's a big difference coming from paddling. The boards are, I guess, wide enough, and you're really in that parallel stance like so.
Yeah.
And even though it's tippy, you're always switching. But even on SUP, I have a dominant side, left side.
Yep.
Goofy stance, so that back foot just comes back more natural.
Yep. But the trick to switching on these skateboards is to get those hips pointed forward, right? So it's whatever you got to do to get your hips pointing forward, whether you bend a knee and basically you point your toes forward, and that's the biggest step in getting your hips pointed forward, and then you can worry about a comfortable foot placement after that.
Yeah, and then as soon as that's happening, at least now your body is a little bit more contorted the way you want it.
Yeah.
Versus being on here and then trying to twist over to that side.
Yeah. That's a good way to get yourself hurt.
Much more comfortable when you get your toes a little more straight, maybe the feet a little closer together.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that looks about right to me, bud. So Connor, you've got the one-piece custom pole there, right? And you tried the adjustable pole before. There's a mid-flex and there's a stiff, and then that one piece is probably the highest flex we have.
Right.
What do you have this? I mean, does the flex make a difference to you?
Yeah, you know, I feel the little bit stiffer gives you a nice grip and a real firm kind of catch into the ground.
Yeah.
But this flexier one, especially over a longer distance, gives a little more forgiveness on the shoulders.
Yeah.
And really can lean into that paddle and real bending it and kind of almost pushing off, exploding off of it there.
Yeah. So tell me about some of the characters you've met here at Ultraskate.
Yeah, no, it's been a rad community for sure. Everybody's pretty stoked, willing to share knowledge, share treats. You know, everyone has their own system, which is really cool. All the teams have their, you know, people that are helping out, giving them supplies. It's been rad. It's been super cool for sure.
Is it like the water community, do you think? Is it similar?
I would say more similar to, you know, SUP scene than, for instance, maybe surfing or some of those sports.
Yep.
We got that athletic side and similarities there.
Yep. I don't know if the viewer can hear the sound his board's making right now, but that's just his polyurethane wheels are just carving up the pavement right there. And he's picked up a lot of speed. And I don't know if you can see how those trucks are moving. The rear isn't turning at all, but the front is doing all the turning. I think bending down on the follow-through is really important, Connor, to extend that push as far as you possibly can. Yeah,
I found you get a little bit more push at the end when you come down lower.
Yep.
Staying here, it ends there, right?
Yep.
Coming the lower you get, that more push you get. But then you're doing squats, right?
Yep. So. Yep. Well, that's what I do to get up hills. I always have to get real low to keep enough speed to get up a hill. How about this track, huh? It's pretty rad to be riding around on a NASCAR track, huh?
Yeah, you know, you see that on TV, but you don't actually experience the actual angle and how steep these berms are, actually. It's pretty rad for sure.
All right, now we're starting to come downhill and it's gonna burn into pit row. This is the first time you've ever done this.
I mean, I've tried the board,
well,
but never pumped it.
Right. Some people are just naturals. That's all I can say.